Greetings, welcome back. Beaver Branch Disc Golf Adventures. I'm Brian Morris. Today we're going to go with the 13 speed. We're testing the edge of my ability to throw here, and we got two new discs that I'm excited to try out. The Latitude 64 Strive, which comes in at a 13 speed, glide 5, turn of -1, and a fade of 3. And I got the Supreme Raider. The Supreme Raider numbers are 13, glide 5, -0.5, so it should be more stable than the Strive, and a 3 fade. We're gonna use, these are the two new discs. We're gonna throw the RIVE, which I can't really throw at 13.5, 0 turn, and a fade of 3.5. This one's really out of my arm speed range, but it's going to be good baseline. I'm throwing somewhere like between 50 and 60 miles per hour. So let's check these discs out. Let's see how they fly. Alrighty, here we have a look at the Strive and the Raider. We have the Royal plastic and the Supreme plastic. Both are made by Latitude 64. The Raider is dynamic discs and the Strive is Latitude 64. Can take a look at their profiles there. Now we're going to take a look at the Strive versus the RIVE. Now the Strive is a nice addition. You can see the difference there in that rim. The Strive having that lower point there and is less stable than the RIVE. And here you see the RIVE next to the Raider on the left. So here we are getting warmed up here, throwing it about 300 feet. And that RIVE, I can't really throw the RIVE. It's a very stable disc. I can use it for stable disc uses. And here is the Supreme Raider. It's kind of a slight headwind in this direction. And I noticed that the Strive might be something special with this shot right here, which stood up on that hyzer release and went into the woods. Here we are throwing a hyzer shot around the corner here of these woods. Just ripping it out there, trying to get 330 feet. Raider pretty much just following the RIVE. Definitely can stand up a little bit more, but for my arm speed, not a lot of difference between the two. And then I let go of these at the same arm speed, and you can see they stand up. And I would argue that that glide on both these shots, for both these discs, the glide almost seems like it's in the 6 range. Wind was kind of a tailwind right to left on that particular shot. There you see the RIVE and the Raiders. And then you can see the Strive got the extra distance straightened out a bit. So we got a little bit of a headwind here on hole 1, which plays at about 400 feet. Shooting the RIVE back should be a good disc for a headwind, but it's not quite strong enough. But you can see how stable it is with that fade. Here's the Raider. Very similar result, but it did stand up just a little bit more. It is a -0.5 for the turn. And then we have the Strive, which gets a little bit more air underneath of it, but you can see that -1 turn there and the fade back They all ended up in very similar location here. So here we're going to use the kind of tail left to right wind and just try to rip them out. And you can see the RIVE is not letting me get that much distance. Probably sitting at like 340-ish, and very similar result with the Raider. I have a Lucid Raider that I have in circulation. It's a very consistent disc. And those are a little bit more beat in, I feel like, than the Supreme Raiders. The Strive definitely seems like it is promising for my arm speed, which is going to be in that 50 to 60 mile per hour range. I can get it to stand up and glide pretty far. You can see the Raider and the RIVE here on the left, and the blue Strive really stretched out here, which made me want to do my final comparison. All right, the RIVE and the Raider, they both got that 3 and 3.5 fade. The Raider didn't stand up quite enough for my arm, but definitely these Strives seem like something special. I talked to Kevin Gleason, Latitude 64, and I said, is the Strive like a beat up Ballista Pro? Because this is the one I'm trying to get a backup for my distance. And he said yes. So we're gonna do the test here. Let's see how it flies. Alrighty, here we go. Let's strive for a little bit of a distance shot. And again, this is a lower arm speed shot here. But I got it out there over 400 feet, which made me happy. And running it against my 168 Ballista Pro, that I can get out there to around 400 usually pretty easily. I was happy with the results here. Here you have the Ballista Pro where it landed. And we're gonna take a little walk down to where the Strive landed. Really excited about getting the Strive in my bag, doing some field work with it and seeing how it'll fit in. Thanks for watching. Like, share it out, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.